Hello, all. This is Anwy, and you're listening to or watching the Bible reading series. Today's chapter will be on Genesis 46, King James Version. However, to start this thing off right, we'll do the Lord's Prayer, Matthew 6, 9 through 13, King James Version. After this manner, therefore, pray ye, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done in earth, as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debts, as we forgive our debtors. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, and the power, and the glory forever. Amen. Genesis 46. I am going to ask for forgiveness before I even start this. There are quite a few names in this, and I will probably mispronounce them. And even the ones that I've been trying, I'll probably mispronounce, but here we go. Jacob moves to Egypt. And Israel took his journey with all that he had, and came to Beersheba, and offered sacrifices unto the God of his father Isaac. And God spake unto Israel in the visions of the night, and said, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, Here am I. And he said, I am God, the God of thy father. Fear not to go down into Egypt, for there make of thee a great nation. For I will there make of thee a great nation. I will go down with thee into Egypt, and I will also surely bring thee up again, and Joseph shall put his hand upon thine eyes. And Jacob rose up from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried Jacob their father, and their little ones, and their wives, in the wagons which Pharaoh had sent to carry him. And they took their cattle and their goods, which they had gotten in the land of Canaan, and came into Egypt, and Jacob and all his seed with him, his sons and his sons' sons with him, his daughters and his sons' daughters, and all his seed brought he with him into Egypt. Those who came to Egypt. Excuse me. And these are the names of the children of Israel, which came into Egypt, Jacob and his sons, Reuben, Jacob's first, and the sons of Reuben, Hanok, Phalu, and Hezron, and Carmi, and the sons of Shimon, Jemiel, and Jamin, and Ohad, and Yakin, and Zohar, and Shaul, the son of the Canaanite woman, and the sons of Levi, Gershon, Kohath, and Merari, and the sons of Yehuda, Onan, and Shelah, Pharez, and Zerah. But and Onan died in the land of Canaan. And the sons of Pharez were Hezron and Hamul. And the sons of Yishakar, Tola, Fuva, and Yob, and Shimron. And the sons of Zebulun, Sered, and Elon, and Jalil. These be the sons of Leah, which she bare unto Jacob in Padan Aram, with his daughter Dinah. All the souls of his sons and his daughters were 33. And the sons of Gad, Ziphion, and Haggai, Shuni, Esbon, Ari, and Arodi, and Arile. And the sons of Asher, Jimna, and Yeshua, and Yeshui, and Beriah, and Sarah, their sister. And the sons of Beriah, Hevar, and Malachil. These are the sons of Zilpah, whom Laban gave to Leah, his daughter. And these she bare unto Jacob, even 16 souls. The sons of Rachel, Jacob's wife, Joseph, and Benjamin. And unto Joseph in the land of Egypt were born Manasseh and Ephraim, which Asenath, the daughter of Potiphera, priest of On, bare unto him. And the sons of Benjamin were Bela, and Becher, Eshbel, Gira, Naaman, Ehi, and Rosh, Mupim, and Hupim, and Ard. These are the sons of Rachel, which were born to Jacob. All the souls were 14. And the sons of Dan, Hushim, and the sons of Naphtali, Yezil, and Guni, and Yezer, and Shilem. These are the sons of Bilhah, which Laban gave unto Rachel, his daughter, and she bare these unto Jacob. All the souls were 7. And all the souls that came with Jacob into Egypt, which came out of his loins, besides Jacob's sons' wives, all the souls were 66. And the sons of Joseph, which were born him in Egypt, were 2 souls. All the souls of the house of Jacob, which came into Egypt, were 70. And he sent Yehuda before him unto Joseph to direct his face unto Goshen, and then came into the land of Goshen. And Joseph made ready his chariot, and went up to meet Israel his father to Goshen, and presented himself unto him, and he fell on his neck, and wept on his neck a good while. And Israel said unto Joseph, Now let me die, since I have seen thy face, because thou art yet alive. And Joseph said unto his brethren, and unto his father's house I will go up, and shew Pharaoh, and say unto him, My brethren in my father's house, which were in the land of Canaan, are come unto me. And the men are shepherds, for their trade hath been to feed cattle, and they have brought their flocks and their herds, and all they have. It shall come to pass, when Pharaoh shall call you, and shall say, What is your occupation? That ye shall say, Thy servant's trade hath been about cattle from our youth even until now, both we and also our fathers, that ye may dwell in the land of Goshen, for every shepherd is an abomination unto the Egyptians. That ends the reading portion. Off to the commentary, but before that, I want to again apologize for butchering a lot of those names. A big takeaway here, overarching, I guess, would be that God spoke to Jacob, and I'm going to switch over here to the Septuagint because it's interesting, its wording. He came to the well of the oath, and he offered sacrifice to the God of his father Yitzhak. And God spoke to Israel in a night vision, saying, Jacob, Jacob. And he said, What is it? Here, it reminds us of what it is, Beersheba. It is a place where he made an oath with God, the covenant. And so that's where he's at, where God speaks to him in a vision. And he says, Go down to Egypt, where your son is, essentially. And so it gives us this lineage piece here, and it tells us all of the children of Jacob here, the sons and daughters of Israel. And so, and it's categorized as Leah, Zilpah, Rachel, and Bilhah. His I guess, 2 wives and 2 concubines, if that were the proper terminology there. But then he arrives in Egypt, right? And Joseph meets his father, and there's an abundant amount of weeping from him. However, the place that they go to, which is referred to as Goshen, which is not incorrect, it's just, I like this naming, is the city of heroes, which is an interesting phrase here, and also Geshem of Arabia, which is Goshen. And then this final warning of the abomination, which we'll get to here in a little bit. So we'll start with the Rashi's commentary here. Beersheba, hey at the end of the word takes place of the lamd at its beginning. It's just just a grammar piece to the God of his father Yitzhak. One is required to honor his father more than he is required to honor his grandfather. Therefore, the sacrifices are associated with Yitzhak and not with Abraham. There's quite a bit on this one. I think this is just a cultural respect thing. The way it was kind of describing it was like disciples walk in front of their teachers, meaning like the teacher will pass away and then the disciple will come after, but we will speak to them, to the living, like to the one that was taught. So the one currently is Israel, so that's who we would speak about. And it, sorry about that. And God said to Israel in the visions of night, and he said, Jacob, Jacob, and he said, Here I am. This is verse 2 here. This Jacob, Jacob expression of affection. So he's showing Jacob his care and concern. And he said, I am God, the God of your father. Do not be afraid of going down to Egypt, for there I'll make you into a great nation. Do not be afraid of going down to Egypt. God encouraged him because he was troubled at being compelled to leave the Holy Land. So, yes, I mean, think about it this way: he's next to the well that the oath was made, so it's a place of comfort. Would be kind of what I would speak about it, but it is kind of like the promised place. So it's kind of like, well, you told me that you were going to give this land to me, then why are you telling me to leave? And he's telling them, do not be concerned, I guess, in another phrase for this. So sometimes God will tell us that something is for us, and he's going to take us what seems to be in the most non-logical path, right? But he has an intent. I will go down with you to Egypt, so he will be with him. This is a key thing to remember, that he will be with Jacob. In fact, later on when it does the counting, there's an odd number difference that brings it out to be 69, but the total number is actually 70, which one of the commentaries believes that it's including God be with them. But there's also other reasoning. For instance, one of the sons is actually born in the gates of Egypt, was conceived in Canaan and then born in Egypt, so he wasn't accounted for, or she, excuse me. I believe it was his daughter. So one of the daughters was born in Egypt rather than being born outside of Egypt, so it wasn't accounted for in that. So there are multiple pieces to that. And I will also bring you up. He promised him, Jacob, that he would be interred in the land, the Holy Land. So, I mean, here's another piece to this whole thing. Jacob is in his later years. He is quite old at this point, and so to tell him to go into Egypt would be like saying, I told you I was going to give you the land, but now I'm going to have you die in not your own land, which is counterintuitive if you think about it, because if you're thinking about it as physical land instead of he's going to bring him about later on through the resurrection, that could be confusing. So I'm just simply saying that this is part of the reason why he's saying, do not be afraid, and that I will place you in the Holy Land again. So anyways, there's also this, and Yosef will place his hand on your eyes, is kind of like inferring this concept that Yosef will put you to rest, I guess. Not in a bad way, but you will be able to give up the ghost in peace, which he refers to later on. And Jacob rose from Beersheba, and the sons of Israel carried their father Jacob and their young children and their wives in the wagons Pharaoh had sent to carry him. And they took their livestock and their possessions that they had acquired in the land of Canaan. They came to Egypt, and Jacob and all his descendants with him. They had acquired in the land of Canaan. So here it starts referring to the possessions that they have that they didn't give to Esau, and so on and so forth. But it's also meaning it has he's amassed wealth. Excuse me. And his sons and his sons' sons with him, his daughters and his daughters' daughters, and all his descendants he brought with him to Egypt. There's a word that's used here in the King James where it uses the word, all his seed brought he with him into Egypt. This is a common trope or common motif throughout the entire Bible, this concept of lineage being referred to as seed. And these are the names of the children of Israel who are coming to Egypt, Jacob and his sons, Jacob's firstborn, Reuben, who are coming to Egypt. Relative to that time when they were migrating to Egypt, the text calls them coming in the present tense, and therefore there is no reason to wonder why it is not written who came. So just a concurrence, I guess, or time frame wise, that's it's just reaffirming that, ensuring that it was translated as such. Verse 10 here, and the sons of Shimon were Yemel, Yemen, and Ohad, Yachin, and Zohar, and the Saul, the son of the Canaanites. The son of the Canaanites, the son of Dinah, who had been possessed by a Canaanite when they killed Shechem. Dinah did not want to leave until Shimon swore to her that he would marry her. There's some weird things that go on, but one of the things that is, I guess, it's referring to as a child that was a result of Shechem. an earlier chapter, if you've listened all the way to this point. Verse 15, these are the sons of Leah that she bore to Jacob in Paddan Aram, and Dinah his daughter. All the souls of his sons and daughters were 33. These are the sons of Leah and Dinah his daughter. The males are attributed to Leah and the females to Jacob, to teach you that if the woman emits seed first, she gives birth to a male, but if the male emits seed first, she, the woman, gives birth to a female. I'm just going to read this because this is the best that I could get out of what this was reading. I mean, some of this was rather sensual. So the sages taught that there are three partners in the creation of a person: the Holy One, blessed be He, and His father and His mother. His father emits the white seed from which the following parts are formed: the bones, the sinews, the nails, the brain that is in its head, and the white of the eye. His mother emits red seed from which are formed the skin, the flesh, the hair, and the black of the eye. And the Holy One, blessed be He, inserts into him a spirit, a soul, his countenance, eyesight, hearing of the ear, the capability of speech of the mouth, the capability of walking with the legs, understanding and wisdom. So, I guess the best takeaway about this is this concept that when we are created, I guess there is imparting of all three parties. I don't know. I don't have any reason to say it's not, and I don't have any reason to say it is, the way that this all plays out. In the sense that I don't know if that's biologically true. I mean that it's like in the intent of the way that God means to make us in the womb. However, I do find this bit: the Holy One, blessed be He, inserts into him a spirit, a soul, his countenance, eyesight, hearing of the ear, the capability of speech of the mouth, the capability of walking with the legs, understanding and wisdom. So the part that the Holy One bestows upon you as an individual are these things: a spirit, or your a lack for a better word, soul or will, the countenance of an individual, your ability to see, hear, and speak, which is a very fascinating thought, the capability of walking with the legs, but then understanding and wisdom. So these things come from the Holy One, the Father. I won't go too deep into the other ones because it gets a little weird, but I know that seemed like the way that that's phrased is odd, but hopefully that makes sense now on what they mean by those words. 33, this number, but if you count them individually, you'll find only 32. This missing one is Jochebed, who was born between the walls when they entered the city, as it is said, whom she bore to Levi in Egypt. Her birth was in Egypt, but her conception was not in Egypt. So whoever this is, male or female, I'm kind of spacing that, but wasn't accounted for because it was the way in which conception and birth were accounted for. It's not all that to say that there is not a loss. If you were like really, really concerned about this being like an inconsistency, it's not an inconsistency. Inconsistency. I'm having a hard time saying that word with the text. It's simply the way that things were counted, because you wouldn't count something that's not yet born. So 19, the sons of Rachel, Jacob's wife, were Joseph and Benjamin. Concerning one of them, does it say Jacob's wife, but the meaning is that she was the mainstay of the household. I guess so. I mean, this doesn't seem too serious to me, but maybe there's something that I'm missing. Verse 26, all the souls coming to Egypt with Jacob, these descended from him, excluding the wives of Jacob's sons. All the souls were 66. All the souls coming with Jacob, who left the land of Canaan to come to Egypt. Now this word is not the past tense, but the present tense, similar to in the evening she would come, and behold, his daughter Rachel is coming with the sheep. Therefore, its accent is below at the end of the word on the aleph, because when they left come from the land of Canaan, they were only 66. excluding Jochebed, Yosef, and his 2 sons, so the 4. The second instance, however, all the souls of the house of Jacob who came to Egypt were 70, is in the past tense, therefore its accent is above on the bet, because when they came there, they were 70, for there they found Yosef, his 2 sons, and Jochebed was added to them between the walls. According to the one who says that twin sisters were born with each of the progenitors, the tribes, we must say that they died before their descent to Egypt, for they were not counted here. I found in Leviticus Rava 4:6, Esav had 6 souls, and his family in the text calls them the souls of his household, in the plural because they worship many gods, in his family each of his or her own deity. Jacob had 70 souls, but the text calls them this, which is singular, because they all worshiped one God. Okay, so this big block of text, if you gathered it, it's accounting for Joseph and his 2 sons, Jochebed, that was born, not yet born, but then is born in Egypt when they finally get there. So the inconsistency of the 66 to the 70 is that. Then there's finally the bit where it's saying back in Genesis 36:6, it used a plural form of the souls in the sense of like how it refers to them in the sense that they worship many gods, and this one is saying that they worship a singular God. This is probably something that I can't see, at least in the English, that is how they're ascertaining the fact that Esav worshipped many gods, and Jacob's house worshipped only one God. Verse 28, he sent Yehuda ahead of him to Yosef to direct him to Goshen, and they came to the land of Goshen. Directed him, so let's see the translation. To be proud of him. I guess this is a position of like honor, respect, but it's also to clear a place for him and to show him how to settle in it. I guess this is implying a little bit of like the first son kind of concept, and then him literally ahead of him before he would arrive there. The Agadic interpretation is that there should be teaching to establish for him a household or house of study from which teaching would emanate. So I guess there's like some bit in this that's talking about how a house will be established to teach. And Yosef harnessed his chariot, and he went up to meet Yisrael his father to Goshen, and it appeared to him, and he fell on his neck and wept on his neck for a long time. And Yosef harnessed his chariot. He personally harnessed the horses to the chariot to hasten to honor his father. So he did the work to go and honor his father in seeing him. And he appeared to him. Yosef presented himself to his father, and he wept on his neck for a long time. So this expression, it kind of says, and again he wept, an expression of profuse weeping, and likewise, for he will not place additional guilt on a man, an expression of profusion or profusion. He, God, does not place upon him additional accusations over and above his sins. Here too he wept greatly and continuously, more than was usual. Jacob, however, neither fell on Joseph's neck nor kissed him. Our sages said that he was reciting the Shema. Excuse me. So, yes, there is a bit of like, we don't see that Jacob is doing the same, almost as if he's just standing there. But, I mean, take it or leave it. I guess what I take from this is that he missed his dad. I don't know how else to make this the way that they're portraying this. I just simply see him being expressly grateful that his dad's finally there and he gets to see him before he passes away. There's also another bit of this which kind of explains it a little bit. Here in verse 30, and Yisrael said to Yosef, I will die this time, since I have seen your face, that you are still alive. I will die this time. Its simple meaning is as the Targum renders, if I should die this time, I would be consoled. Its midrashic interpretation is, however, I thought that I would die two deaths, in this world and the next world, because the Shekinah had left me, and I thought that the Holy One, blessed be He, would hold me responsible for your death. Now that you are still alive, I will die but once. Yeah, so you have the two kind of like, I guess, opposing perspectives here in the cultural, I guess, outlook here. So I still find this interesting that there's this, life after death, that he would die twice, or that he would be consoled in his death. This I guess the consolation within inside of his death would be the appeasement, knowing that all of his sons are alive. But I guess you could also look at it as like within another, past this thing, he would actually be consoled and not held accountable for these things. So, verse 31, Joseph said to his brothers and to his father's household, I will go up and tell Pharaoh, and I will say to him, my brothers and my father's household were in the land of Canaan have come to me. So the proclamation, and I will say to him, my brothers, etc. I will further say to him, the men are shepherds. This becomes really interesting. You shall say, your servants have been owners of livestock from your youth until now, both we and our ancestors, so that you may dwell in the land of Goshen, because all shepherds are abhorrent to the Egyptians. This is like one of the first times we see this word abhorrent. I think there's actually a word abomination inside of here. Yep. So in the King James, it uses the word abomination, which is like one of the first times. So there's a concept of first usage. I don't know exactly if this is exactly the first time that this is used. Sometimes there are like derivatives of words that are the word but not. But we could look here real quick. So Genesis 43:32, and they set on for him by himself, and for them by themselves, and for the Egyptians which did eat with him by themselves, because the Egyptians might not eat bread with Hebrews, for this is an abomination unto the Egyptians. Yeah. So, but it's the same. There's the same reason, and I'll explain the best that I can understand it. So, the Egyptians of this time frame saw shepherding not as an abomination in the sense of like it's a dirty thing or a wicked thing, in the sense that like this is how do I put this? Like not in our sense of evil per se. It's because, and in this it actually says it are abhorrent to the Egyptians because they, the sheep, are their gods. Well, there's a couple, I think there were like 4 or 5 ancient Egyptian gods that refer to sheep or rams as a god. So think about it like this. They would look at it as like a direct affront to them, that they would be containing the gods, the things that they would look at as what gives them life. In fact, one of them, which I found this fascinating, is that one of them specifically, he's, well, I don't know if it's a he or her. This particular god crafted or molded humanity like clay on the dial or the spin for making clay pots, which is fascinating to me because who else does that? I'm not going to make any leaps of one way or the other, but that's to leave it off without going too far down into this. I will say this: the Egyptians looked at the Israelites as abhorrent because they were directly opposing their own culture. In our common vernacular would be how that would be put. So this is very common in our day and age. Now the Israelites, were shepherds, which are a nomadic thing. that moved around, relying on God, whereas the Egyptians settled and they created, agriculture and everything. So instead of relying on God to provide, they looked at it differently and how God provides for them at this time period. Things do change for the Egyptians and for the Israelites. But anyways, it ends interestingly, like why in the world do I need to know this? But it also makes me think about Revelation. I'm not going to spend too much time on that. I just wanted to hit those thoughts. Thank you so much for listening in, and I hope to see you next time.